Very good morning, students. So I hope that you are all safe in your home. Okay. So during this period, you all should have self-responsibility, self-awareness, and plan your time accordingly. Okay. So today we are going to discuss solvency ratios. So we already discussed our accounting ratios, ratio analysis, liquidity ratio, under that current ratio and liquidity ratio. The second classification types of accounting ratio is called solvency ratios. Okay, so here what do you mean by solvency ratios? To determine the ability of the business to service its debt in the long run. Okay, so every company should know the determination, they able to pay their dues. So the ratio should show whether the enterprise will be able to meet its long-term financial obligation. Okay, that is the very important objective for the solvency ratio. Okay, here as a solvency ratios from our NCRT book, totally 5 type of accounting ratios, but the discussion mostly 4. So anyway, I mentioned all 5 here. Debt to equity ratio, debt to capital employed ratio, see proprietary ratio, total assets to debt ratio, interest coverage ratio. Okay, these are the 5 ratios. But main discussion 4 ratios: debt to equity ratio and debt to capital employed ratio. Both are similar. Okay, see here, what is the meaning of debt to equity ratio? So it shows the relationship between long-term external equities. Say what is the meaning of external equities? Nothing but external debts, and internal equities nothing but shareholders fund of the enterprise. So it is computed to assess long-term financial soundness of the enterprise. Okay, that is the idea behind for debt to equity ratio. Here already said now what is the external equities or external debts? Nothing but liabilities of the enterprise payable to outsiders. Okay, so you have to pay outsiders. Then long-term borrowings. What is the meaning of long-term provisions? Okay, we will discuss later. Then, so what is a non-current liabilities? As you know, our company's account the balance sheet format. So non-current liabilities under that, long-term borrowings and long-term provisions will come. So what is the meaning of long-term borrowings? If they are payable after 12 months from the date of balance sheet or after the period of operating cycle. So we discussed already what is the meaning of operating cycle. Correct. So now the long-term provisions. So same manner they are payable after 12 months from the date of balance sheet or after the period of operating cycle. Okay, that is the non-current liabilities. Then here the formula for debt to equity ratio. So what is the formula here? Debt divided by equity. Equity is nothing but we can also call shareholders fund. Here the numerator and denominator. See the debt divided by equity. Basically you have remember like this. Okay. See it is expressed as a pure ratio. What is the expression here? Pure ratio. So it's all, so what is the debt? Nothing but long term debts divided by shareholders fund. Okay. Here what is the ideal ratio? 2:1. We discussed earlier now what is current ratio and liquid ratio. As a current ratio we know already 2:1. Then liquid ratio 1:1. Similarly here the ideal ratio for debt to equity ratio is called 2:1. Okay, that is the idea. Then here we should know what is the meaning of debt. The formula for debt here, capital employed minus equity. So what is capital employed? Capital employed nothing but debt plus equity, or we can also call non-current assets plus working capital minus fictitious assets. Okay, so these were the different formula available. Okay, then what is the equity? Equity or shareholders fund. So what is shareholders fund? Share capital plus reserves and surplus. What is the share capital? Maybe equity shares, then preference shares. Okay, what is reserves and surplus? The balance available in profit. Then different type of surpluses like capital reserve, like that. And non-current assets minus non-current liabilities. Here, what is the meaning of non-current asset? The together of tangible assets. As you know already, what is the meaning of tangible asset? Then you can add it intangible assets plus non-current assets. Then trade investments. Then long-term loans and advances. Then working capital. You have to add all together. So what is working capital? As you know already, difference between current assets minus current liabilities. Okay. Then non-current liability is nothing but long-term borrowings plus long-term provision. That's why you should, this is the basic, you should know what is the meaning of equity shareholders fund. So differently the availability of the information. Okay, that is the idea here. Okay, I will show once again here all clearly. Then, so I will discuss now the second formula, debt to capital employed ratio, nothing but long-term debt divided by capital employed. Capital employed nothing but our net assets. Then proprietary ratio, the other formula. Third one, shareholders fund divided by capital employed or net assets. Just now discussed what is the meaning of shareholders fund. Then similarly, total assets to debt ratio. So total assets divided by long-term debts. Okay, you should know numerator and denominator. Accordingly, you have to remember it. Okay, then. See here, what are the item available for long-term borrowings? You should be keep in your mind. Then only you should know what is the meaning of long-term borrowing. See here, long-term borrowing is nothing but, see, the non-current liabilities in the balance sheet in the liability side. Under the non-current liabilities, what is the meaning of long-term borrowings? What are the item available? See, debentures, bonds, loans from banks, financial institutions, public deposit. Then similarly, what is the long-term provision? Provision by gratuity. Then leave encashment. Here, what is the meaning of gratuity? See, any employee, they continuously working in any organization, the employer should provide gratuity, okay, after completion of the 5 year. So leave encashment, so whenever any any employee surrender the leaves, okay, any leaves available for him, so he not taking the leave, he just surrender all his leave, he will get leave encashment. That is the idea. So that's what you want to provide. Yeah, any company, every company, they should provide for the employee for provision for gratuity and leave encashment. That's it is called long-term provision. Now you understood what is long-term provisions and long-term borrowings are. Okay, that's why the non-current liability is very, very, very important factor. Okay. Okay, now we will see some examples about debt to equity ratio. See, from the following information, calculate debt to equity ratio. Here information available. Share capital 10,000, equity shares of 10 each become 1 lakh. General reserve 45,000. Surplus balance in statement of profit and loss account 30,000. Then debentures 75,000. Long-term provisions 25,000. Outstanding expenses 10,000. So how to calculate debt to equity ratio? Always I said now first you have to write the formula. Debt to equity ratio is equal to debt divided by equity. Equity nothing but shareholders fund. So here how to do the work, problem sums. See, always from the available information you have to choose the formula. That's why for debt to equity ratio different formulas available here. So debt, here what we have to go into calculate what is debt. Here debentures plus long-term provisions. Okay, as you know already what is debentures, 75,000. Long-term provisions 25,000. Okay, 75,000 plus 25,000 is equal to 1 lakh. Okay, so now going to calculate equity. So equity, here the available information, share capital plus general reserve. I said na, all reserves have to add available reserves. Here they from the problem they given, see from the problem they given general reserve 45,000. Okay, that's why you have to mention here. See, general reserve plus surplus. Surplus nothing but available profit in a balance sheet. Okay, it's taken from the profit and loss account. Okay, such what equity is equal to share capital plus general reserve plus surplus. Okay, so 1 lakh plus 45,000 plus 30,000 become 1,75,000. Now you are going to substitute the formula. As you know already, see what is the debt to equity ratio is equal to debt divided by equity. Okay, so we got 1 lakh for the debt. Then equity 1,75,000. Once you substitute the formula, so simplification I done it now. So clear all the 30. So 100 divided by 175 again by equation division by 25. 425 are 100 and 725 are 175. So 4 by 7. The simplification is 0.57 is to 1. That is the answer here. Expressed in a PU ratio, debt to equity ratio. Okay, so 0.57 is to 1. That is the discussion here. The first problem. Then go for the second example here. So calculate debt to equity ratio from the following information. Here they given total assets, total debts, external debts 1 lakh, current liabilities. Okay, the three information they given. Here the information available from the asset side and total debts. Okay, so here again formula. What is the formula? Debt to equity ratio is equal to debt divided by equity, nothing but shareholders fund. Okay, so now we are going to substitute again. First work going to calculate debt. So debt is equal to total debts. Here you are going to calculate debt. How to calculate debt? So total debts available. See, from the problem total debt they given. So from the total debts are going to deduct current liabilities. Okay. So you will get our long-term borrowings or long-term debt. So 1 lakh minus 50,000 is equal to become 50,000. You get debt. Similarly, equity. Here equity only the information available from assets. Okay, total assets they given. Okay, so total assets minus total debts, you will get equity, correct? So 1,25,000 total assets from the available information, then total debts minus 1 lakh is equal to 25,000. Okay, that's what we got, debt and equity. So that should be very careful from the available information how to choose the formula. Okay, that's a very, very interesting chapter here. Okay, so here see 50,000 divided by 25,000, so become 2:1. See 2 times now. 25,000 into 250. So 2:1. So here the calculation is very easy. So the ratio become debt to equity ratio 2:1. Okay, that's what the second problem. Then third problem. So this is very, very interesting, very important. Okay, calculate debt to equity ratio from the following information. Okay, fixed assets gross 6 lakhs. Here what is the meaning of fixed asset gross means? They are not deducted depreciation. Only the assets, fixed assets available. Okay, except depreciation. That's why separately they mentioned here accumulated depreciation 1 lakh, the non-current investment 30,000, long-term loans and advances 20,000. See here current assets they given 2,50,000, current liabilities 2 lakhs, then long-term borrowings 3 lakhs, the 10% debenture. Here 10% debenture means you have to pay 10% interest for the 3 lakhs. Okay, that's why you know already now from the debenture prefix the percentage is for our, you have to pay interest 10%. The long-term provisions 1 lakh. Okay. From this available information, how to calculate debt to equity ratio. Okay. See here, debt to equity ratio, as you know already, debt, nothing but long-term debt divided by equity, other name called shareholders fund. Here, first we are going to calculate debt. Okay. So already how debt is equal to long-term borrowings plus long-term provisions. Okay. Add together, you will get debt from the available information. I will show you once again. So that's why you should be choose the formula. From the available information, you can substitute the formula. Okay. So then only you have to know all the formulas. Okay. Here long-term borrowings 3 lakhs plus long-term provisions 1 lakh is equal to 4 lakhs. Now you have calculated debt. Okay. Now equity. So equity is equal to non-current assets plus non-current assets minus, okay, then current liabilities minus non-current liabilities. You deduct all, you get the equity. Okay, from the non-current assets and current assets, nothing but our total assets minus our total liability. That's what the idea here. See, current liabilities plus non-current liabilities. Okay, you will get the equity. The balance item will usually you get our shareholders fund. Okay, so non-current assets, I said no, so fixed asset gross. So from this 6 lakh, you are going to deduct accumulated depreciation 1 lakh. See, you will get 5 lakhs. I said no, whenever more information, you please write vertical format because work is very easy for, you can add the information, deduct information. Like this you have to write. That is the better idea. Okay, work is very easy to calculate. Okay, so that's why I shown here. See, fixed assets gross 6 lakh, less accumulated depreciation 1 lakh become 5 lakhs. Again, now we are going to add our non-current investment 30,000, then long-term loans and advances 20,000, then become 5,50,000. Okay, so now you got it what? Our non-current asset. Now again, what is non-current liabilities? So non-current liabilities nothing but long-term borrowings. Now from the problem they given a 10% debentures, long-term provisions. Okay, we have to add together. So you know already long-term borrowing. See from the problem I'll show you once again. See here they given. See this side. So long-term borrowings they given. See 3 lakhs debentures. Nothing but 10% debenture. The long-term provision is 1 lakh. Okay, so that's what we are going to add it here. See here. Okay, So 3 lakhs plus 1 lakh, 4 lakhs. Okay. So that's what now you are going to substitute here. Okay. So long term borrowings, you got it here. Okay. 4 lakhs. Okay. See. Now equity. Non-current assets plus current assets minus current liabilities minus non-current liabilities. We have to substitute all. So we already know non-current assets, just now we got it, non-current assets from the information. Then current assets 2 lakh 50. Then current liabilities already on the problem 2 lakhs. Then non-current liabilities, just now we got it 4 lakhs. Okay. So 5 lakh 50 plus 2 lakh 50. So 5 plus 2, 7, 8. Okay. Then you deduct 2 lakhs and 4 lakhs becomes 6. So now you get it 2 lakhs. Okay. So final answer for 2 lakhs. Okay. Now we are going to substitute our debt divided by equity. So what is our debt? 4 lakhs and equity is 2 lakhs. So we got the answer 2:1. Okay. So 2 lakhs into 24. Okay. So this is very easy for calculation. Okay. No fraction. Okay. No decimal. So you can easily calculate. That's why I'll show you once again. So this is the way you have to work out. So working notes very important. Okay. See here. See from the problem I have to work out. See I will show once again detail. Okay. So that's what. So you have to write the formula. What is the question they ask debt to equity ratio? First you write the formula first. Then after you have to do working notes. So what is debt and we have one step one by one we have to identify what is equity and what is non-current assets and what is non-current liabilities. And finally, what is again equity from the available information, non-current assets and current assets minus current liabilities, then non-current liabilities. So deduct all. So finally, you got the answer 2:1. Okay, that is the idea for the debt to equity ratio. So after debt to equity ratio, now total assets to debt ratio. Okay, here. So it shows relationship between total assets and long-term debts of the enterprise. As you know now, what is long-term debts? Okay, relationship between total assets and debt. It measures the safety margin available to the lenders of long terms. Okay, should be very careful for the repayment. Whenever the repayment long-term debts, accordingly we have to maintain our business. Okay, so the formula is here: total assets divided by debt. Debt nothing but long-term debt. That is the total assets to debt ratio. Okay, see here we will express pure ratio like 1:1. Okay, so what you discuss the same here. Okay, now you see one example of the total assets to debt ratio. Okay, see here. Here capital employed 22 lakhs 20,000. Current liabilities 1 lakh 80,000. Fixed assets gross, as you know already now, what is fixed asset gross in the bracket 15 lakhs. Now accumulated depreciation 2 lakhs and non-current investment 7 lakhs. Trade receivables 2 lakh 50,000. Then equity share capital 10 lakh 50,000. 8% debenture 3 lakhs. Capital reserve, okay, the available reserve here, capital reserve 2 lakh 40,000. Then surplus, balance in statement in profit and loss account. See, I mentioned in the bracket debit. See here, what is the debit means? Here the profit, here we can't get profit. So whenever they shown as the profit and loss account debit, it is called nothing but loss. Okay, so here should be very careful. The bracket in the debit means it is a loss, not a profit. Okay, that is the idea here. Okay, let's see the bracket debit. You should be very careful to see whenever reading the problem. Then cash and cash equivalents 1 lakh 50,000. Okay, from this available information, how to calculate our total assets to debt ratio. So okay, so first I mentioned total assets divided by debt. Okay, so how you got 25 lakhs and 9 lakhs 60,000? The discussion now started working in note 1. So first we are going to calculate total assets. Okay, as you know, total assets together or non-current assets plus current assets. Okay, so we have to find out what is non-current assets. Okay, so what is non-current assets? So already fixed assets, then minus accumulated depreciation plus non-current investment. Here only 3 items. Okay, that's why I written here. But whenever the more information I said already in a vertical format is better for your main exam. You can easily and quickly you can get the information answer. Okay, so only 3 information I again written like this here, statement form. Okay, fixed assets, gross minus accumulated depreciation plus non-current investment. So, okay, so what is fixed assets? 15 lakhs. So from that I am deducted accumulated depreciation 2 lakhs. Then again I added non-current investment 7 lakhs. So non-current assets become 20 lakhs. Okay, Then current assets. Again, the available information, trade receivables plus cash and cash equivalents. As you know already, what current ratio, what are the availability of current assets. Here only two information available for our current assets. So one is trade receivables and other is cash and cash equivalents. Okay, 2,50,000 plus 1,50,000. Okay, all from the, see here, all you have to read the question very carefully. Then what is the available information, we have to check always. Okay, from here only we are taken. Okay, see trade receivables 2,50,000. Then see here, I mentioned the cash and cash equivalents 1,50,000. Okay, for that I have substituted here. Okay, current assets. Then capital employed. Here what is the capital employed? Nothing but our shareholders fund plus long term debts wherein we were employed. What is capital employed means? What you are employed in the business. Okay, so shareholders fund, you know already the equity share capital, preference share capital. Okay, then long term debts. Okay, borrowings like debentures. Okay, here from the information shareholders fund for equity share capital, then capital reserve. Okay, here from the problem they given capital reserve. Okay, plus surplus balance on statement of profit and loss. Profit or loss. See here very carefully. I said 30,000 here. See, I shown bracket. See, bracket debit. Okay, should be very careful. Okay, whenever put in the bracket, statement in profit debit means it is a loss. That should be, here we can't add. We are going to deduct. See, I mentioned here. See here. I shown here very clearly. See, share capital, what is shareholders fund? Share capital plus capital reserve. Sorry, I have here the instead of plus, it is wrong. I done wrongly. So minus. Okay. Okay. Equity share capital plus capital reserve minus. Because why here minus means 30,000 is a loss. It's a debit balance. Okay. Credit balance only you are added in your profit surplus to balance sheet. So whenever debit balance we show in the asset side. Okay. That's also should be careful. The balance sheet format, the profit and loss account debit means we have to show in the asset side. Okay. See here. So equity share capital as you know already 10,50,000 plus 2,40,000 minus 30,000. So become 12,60,000. Okay. Now working capital employed. Okay. The working note 2. So what is capital employed here? Shareholders fund. Just now we got it. So from the shareholders fund, what is capital employed? Shareholders fund plus long term debts. Okay. So as we don't know long term debts, but we know what is capital employed. Shall show once again from the information. See 12 first item. See capital employed 22 lakhs 20,000. Okay. That's why here we are going to mention here. See here. Shareholder capital employed is one minute. Okay, so here 22, 20, not 60. Okay, it's a mistake. So here capital employed is equal to shareholders fund plus long term debts. Okay, so that's why we are substitute 22,20,000 is equal to shareholders fund. We know only 12,60,000. Just now we got it plus long term debts. Okay, when you form the equation, long term debts is equal to our capital employed minus our shareholders fund. Okay, so 22,20,000 minus 12,60,000, you will get 9,60,000. Okay, that is the long term debts. Okay, so for this now we are going to substitute the formula. See here again. Now you got it. What is total assets? 24 lakhs. And what is debt? 9,60,000. Okay, so you will get 2.5:1. Okay, that's why you should be very careful here. It's very important information here. Profit and loss, it is not a profit, it is a loss. So that's why you are going to deduct, not add. Okay, that you keep in your mind. Okay, now go for the second example. Okay, compute total assets to debt ratio from the following information. Okay, here see share capital is 12 lakhs, reserves and surplus 8 lakhs, long term borrowings, long term provisions, see 25 lakhs and 5 lakhs, current liabilities 10 lakhs they given. Okay, so then here how to do the problem? Same manner, first you have to by the formula. Total assets to debt ratio is equal to total assets divided by debts. Okay, here total assets is equal to total liabilities. Okay, because I have information all given from the liability side. Okay, so but we want total assets. Okay, so that's what here how to do total assets, as you know, equation total assets is equal to total liabilities. Here how to calculate total liabilities? We have to add our liabilities. See, share capital 12 lakhs, reserves and surplus 8 lakhs, long term borrowings 25 lakhs, long term provisions 5 lakhs. See here I have done a vertical format. We can easily do the work. See, once we added all, we get 60 lakhs. Okay, so one by one. And after 60 lakhs, then you are going to calculate debt. Debt, you know, already long term borrowings plus long term provisions. So as you know, already 25 lakhs plus 5 lakhs. Okay, so become 30 lakhs. Okay, see here from the information I shown. So long term borrowing they given 25 lakhs and long term provisions 5 lakhs. Okay, that two information when you add together, you will get debt. Okay, see here I shown. So now you got it. What is our total assets? Just now we got it. Total assets 60 lakhs divided by then long term provision 30 lakhs. So we get 2:1. Okay, that is the idea here. That's why you should be very careful for choosing the formula and choosing the information. So how to memorize the formula also very important. Okay, so for our next class we will discuss the other two remaining ratio, proprietary ratio and interest coverage ratio. Okay, thank you. I hope that all do your worksheet whenever you get it. So what is my suggestion? You please, whenever you get the worksheet, do it the same day. So don't postpone your work. Okay, so that's what my suggestion. Okay, thank you.